Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? I hope you're having an amazing day. For today's video, I wanted to share with you guys a Colourpop collection and declutter video. So I've been mentioning that I wanted to kind of go through my Colourpop collection here and there, but I haven't actually sat down and filmed it. And I feel like today could be, you know what I'm saying, could be a good day to do so. I'll have my declutter playlist down below in the description box. You guys seem to love my declutters a ton. My style is, if you're new here, no game is being played style. That's like my slogan, my motto. So basically, like, if I use it, if I love it, if I like the packaging, if I feel the need to have it, then I'll keep it. But if I'm just not using it and it's just sitting there to kind of sit, then I prefer to kind of let it go. Also, with limited edition goodies, I used to be the kind of person that kept everything. Now there's only a select few items that I wouldn't mind having in my life. I'm at a point where I don't necessarily mind kind of decluttering that, you know what I mean? And maybe in the future it'll be the opposite, but this is where I am for now. Also, I will be selling some of these goods. I don't know if I'm going to sell all, but some of these goods on my Poshmark, which will be linked down below. I also try to include free extra stuff for anyone who purchases anything. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I have a decent amount to go through. I think it's going to be fun. Let's do this. All right. Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna start off with this drawer first. So in here I basically have lots of palettes, bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. I didn't want to start with the lips first because I don't know what I'm getting rid of. But for here, I feel like I know what I kind of want and I know what I want to get rid of. So firstly, I have the Raw Beauty Christie at Foresight palette. This right here is newer to my collection. I would love to use it a bit more. I love the color stories. These shades are a little bit hard for me to work with, but to the most part, really nice, and I'm gonna keep. Next up, I have this Alexis Wren Duo. Here is what it looks like on the inside. So it's an interesting story with this one. I had one of these and then it completely shattered. I loved it so much that I repurchased a while ago, but I feel like for a little bit now I haven't been using it much, and it's not really a duo that I really reach for. I really pretty much use it for the bronzer. The highlighter is a little bit too dark. Loved the formula at the time, but I don't think I really need it in my life at this point, so I'm gonna declutter. Next, I have the I Like Your Face palette here. So in here we just get a bunch of different highlighters. I think I purchased this from Ulta. I think it's a good one. It's not my ultimate favorite. I think I prefer their highlighters singularly as opposed to in these palettes. So I'm going to declutter this one. I don't tend to use it too much. Next I have this blush duo here, I believe. So yeah, here we have a blush and highlighter, actually really pretty, great formula. I like this for a pretty long time, but also with this, I just don't use it way too much these days. There are other blushes that I prefer from Colourpop and from other brands too, so I'm gonna say goodbye. And next I have the Got Me Beaming highlighter palette. This came out at a time where Colourpop wasn't releasing too much, so I was really able to enjoy this at the time. Now I feel like there's so much coming out. And sometimes I kind of get lost in the shuffle of like, what did I use? What did I not? Do I love this? Do I not? You know? So yeah, basically that's the story of this, but I'm gonna go ahead and declutter. I don't really use it too much. Next, we have the Wild and Nothing palette here. This is one of my favorites from Colourpop. So good. I loved it so much that I actually purchased one of these for Emma. She really enjoys it. I love the color story. Great for every day. Amazing formula in here, keeping for sure. Next up, I have the Dream Street palette here by Kathleenlights. I think this palette was curated beautifully at the time that it came out. I used it a decent amount of times. I was able to come up with a bunch of different looks. At this point, I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter. I do enjoy Kathleen. I do watch her videos here and there, but I think I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. It's really not one that I reach for anymore. I enjoyed it at the time, but I think I'm ready to part ways. This is actually a palette that I totally forgot about. I think I maybe only used this once. It's so beautiful. It has like a textured feel, really stunning. Here is what the palette looks like on the inside. Really gorgeous. I love these mauve tone shades. Now that I see I actually have this, I'm gonna probably use it more, but yeah, this is what I'm gonna go ahead and keep. Next, we have the Femme Rosa Sheet palette. I did a first impression on this such a long time ago. And I remember when this came out, it was legit everything because it was one of Colourpop's first few 12-pan palettes. Loved the color story of this one. I wish it would still be available. A part of me kind of wants to keep it just cause, but I think I'm ready to say goodbye to it. I loved it at the time and I think it deserves a new home. So I'm going to say goodbye, little one. Next, I have the Biddy palette. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is specifically called the Candy Button palette. So we have a lot of those like loose glitters in here. Pressed glitters, is that what it's called? I always get confused. Some mattes and I want to say one metallic. I don't really use this too much, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really feel inspired by this much, but so I'm gonna say goodbye to this one. Next, I have the Good as Gold palette. I think this came out for holiday 20, 2019. I love all of the gold tones in here, the browns, this really nice deep brown black type of shade. Haven't used this in a hot minute, let me tell you, but I'm gonna put this in front of my face so I remember to actually like give it some love. I'm gonna keep this. Next, I have one of the Colourpop Soul Body highlighters here. This right here is in the shade Platinum. This is Hujongo. This is huge. I think that the shade is pretty nice. The formula seems to be okay, not one that I'm fully obsessed with. It's kind of giving me like Marc Jacobs vibes. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter. I just don't tend to reach for this way too much. Next, I have the Bitty Super Shock blush here in Sugar Coat, I think it's what it's called. I think this is nice. It's more of like a typical shade for me. I have a bunch of these kind of shades and I don't really reach for this, so I'm gonna declutter. And then I have one of the items here from the Zoella collection. I have more in the other drawer. So this blush right here is in Soulmate. It is really beautiful. I do like the Colourpop blush formula. This was limited edition and I don't really feel the need to necessarily keep, so I'm gonna need to declutter. Okay, and then finally I have these left in this drawer. These are specifically called the Glittery Obsessed Body Glitters. So I do have 12 here. It came in a set. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this because I do find that I feel very inspired by these glitters. And I love all of the colors, so I'm gonna keep all. So from this drawer, I pretty much just kept 4 of these eyeshadow palettes, which I think is a pretty decent amount, but I also did declutter a decent amount as well. I'm gonna put these here, but I think I'm gonna probably reorganize everything once again after, just because I would love each like category to have its own drawer, you know? Okay, then in total, I did declutter 10 Colourpop goodies from this drawer. Moving on to the next drawer, here is what we're working with. Here I mainly have Super Shock highlighters, Super Shock eyeshadows, some loose eyeshadows, I think some blushes here, and then some cream eyeshadows as well. Okay, so first I have these 2 Super Shock highlighters. This right here is Still the Show. It's a beautiful white, and this right here is in the shade Spoon. It's like the perfect champagne white color. Love both, keeping both. I then have these 2 here from the Kathleenlights collection. So this one right here is On the Cusp, and this one right here is Fire. I do like On the Cusp. It does work out well for my skin tone. Fire is pretty deep, but I have other shades that I use more than these, so I'm gonna declutter both. This was so cute. This is part of one of their birthday collections a little bit ago. It's in the shade Below Me Out. So nice. It is a bit dark for me. For some time I felt like I wanted to keep it, but I think at this point I'm ready to say goodbye, so I'm going to declutter. Next I have these 2. This one right here is in Flexitarian, my favorite from Colourpop in regards to their Super Shock highlighters. And then this one right here is in Lunch Money. I'm going to declutter Lunch Money. I have a lot of similar ones to that, but I'm going to keep Flexitarian for sure. This right here was a like tie-dye limited edition one they had. It's in Road Trip. I love it, but it's okay. I want to declutter. Then I have these 2. This one right here is Smoke and Whistles, and this one right here is in Wisp. But I'm going to declutter both. They're a little bit deeper than what I typically like to wear. So I don't feel like I'll reach for them way too much. I'm going to say goodbye. Then we have this one right here in Guilty Pleasure. It's more of like a whitish reddish, I would say. Pretty deep for my skin tone. I'm going to declutter. And I want to say the last one I have in regards to the Super Shock highlighters is this one in Over the Moon. It's actually a beautiful white with like a purple shift. I'm going to keep this for those days that I want to be a bit more dramatic and do something different. Next I have one of these highlighters from Colourpop. I think this was part of their like first highlighter launch. I really didn't like the formula of these, so I'm going to declutter this highlighter. It's really not good. The blushes in this compact, like those are good, but these kind of suck, so I'm going to say goodbye. Then I have the My Little Pony collection highlighter as well. This is a beautiful purpley tone shade. I'm going to say goodbye. And then we have this one right here in collaboration with Zoella. This is also a highlighter, more of like a yellowy toned one. Declutter. I then have 2 of these highlighters here that was in collaboration with Becky G. So these are the 2 shades I have. This is like a white with a purple shift and Princesa. And then we have Kiss Me. I don't know how to pronounce that. This is like a champagne. I don't tend to use these too much. I'm going to declutter both. Then we have this highlighter here by Colourpop. It's in the shade Gnomi. I think you don't pronounce the G, but this was popular for a period of time. I just checked to see if it's available. It's not. I'm going to declutter. It is really pretty, but I just feel like I won't tend to use it way too much. I'm going to say goodbye. Then I have a loose glitter here from the Kathleenlights collection in Scorpio, because I'm a Scorpio, so I felt connected. I felt like I needed to have this in my life. I don't know if I've used this even once. Maybe I just used it once, I'm not sure, but I'm going to say goodbye, even though it is Scorpio, and you know what I'm saying, but I think I'm I'm ready to give it another home. Oh, okay, so in regards to these Super Shock eyeshadows, I try not to keep way too much on hand because they do tend to dry out pretty fast. These three are recent purchases, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep all of these. We have like the cat one here and then the dog one here that they recently released, and then this right here is in Ripple. I just purchased this from Ulta a little bit ago. And then I think for these, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye and declutter all. Then I have 4 of these cream eyeshadows, 2 from the Kathleen collection and 2 from the Zoeva. Here's pretty much what they look like. I will say that the Kathleen ones seem a bit dry, so I'm just gonna toss them, but the Zoeva ones, I'm gonna go ahead and just declutter. So basically saying goodbye to all 4. I then have a Super Shock blush in here in Count Me In. I'm gonna say goodbye. And then I have this Jelly Mud shadow here. I think this is part of one of their newer collections, so I'm gonna keep this for now. I haven't had much of a chance to use it. Okay, so in regards to what I'm keeping these. So 2, 4, 6, 8 goodies is what I'm gonna keep. I guess we'll just put it in the drawer for now, and then I'll reorganize soon. Here's what we're working with. And then in regards to what I'm decluttering, here is what I'm saying goodbye to. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29, 31, 33. Not bad at all. Okay, so looking at the drawers that I have left, I think I'm going to save the lip products for a different video, so definitely stay tuned. I have this drawer and then the lipstick drawer that you guys saw before, but we're going to save this. And then I think we're going to go ahead and tackle this baby right over here. I love like watching videos of palettes, declutters, swatches, anything and everything palette related I'm down for. Firstly, I have the Lilac You A Lot palette right over here. Here is what it looks like on the inside. What pisses me off a lot about these 9-pan palettes is that most of the times, like one of the shadows will just pop out, break. It's just so annoying when it happens, and it happened multiple times, and it makes me feel like I don't want to use it because then I'm like, wait, what was this shade? And you know, like I'm sure it would add value to the palette because it was there for a reason, I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and keep this. Next, I have the Main Squeeze palette here. I love that this one is just a true red palette, and I could create a red look just by using this. I'm gonna keep. Next, I have the In a Trance palette. I thought this was pretty cool. I did like the pastel tones for a bit there, but I felt like this palette really was lacking. Half of the shades didn't show up on the eye. It looked extremely like patchy, and it was really hard to blend out. I did not like the looks I came up with when I used this one, so I'm going to declutter. The Ahhh Honey palette is so cute. It's one of my favorites. How gorgeous is this? I did a look using this a while back. I posted it on Instagram and you guys were like fully in love, and I was like, yeah, you know, it looks pretty good, you know, like it's a cute palette. I'm gonna keep this one. I haven't used it in a bit, but I have to get down with this one soon. It's so good. Next, I have this palette here from Frozen. I believe she's Elsa, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter. I'm not crazy about the color story. I don't really use this way too much, and I don't really feel inspired by this, so even though it is Frozen and it's so cute. My niece loves Frozen. She's like, Frozen? She loves it, but I'm gonna say goodbye. She was talking to me about Frozen 3 coming out. I'm like, so cute. But yeah, declutter. Okay, and then we have Anna, Elsa and Anna. And this is one that I'm gonna declutter as well. I think I like this one a bit more in regards to color story, but I think I'm ready to part ways with this. I'm just looking at these two palettes to see how similar they are, if I need to keep both. This right here is the Ulala palette. I think it came out October 3rd in honor of like Mean Girls, one of my favorite movies. I think this was the first 9-pan palette they came out, and in my review video I mentioned I wish they would come out with more 9-pan palettes with these color stories, and it's been history since. I did like this one for a very long time. I don't think it's available anymore, so I'm gonna say goodbye. I will though keep the Strawberry Shake palette. I do like this one. I like that it kind of combines pinks and like lighter peachy type of shades. So pretty, and I haven't really used this a bunch, so I'm gonna keep this. Next, I have this palette right here that was in collaboration with Becky G. I thought that this palette was pretty good. I did like it for a decent amount of time. I'm thinking there are many other palettes that I prefer to use over this one at this point, so I'm going to declutter this. For the California Love palette, honestly, I don't really know what I was thinking when I purchased this. I think I just purchased to purchase. I love the tones. It's really nice, but there are so many other palettes that I feel like are so similar to this, and for some reason I just don't gravitate towards this one. Maybe because the packaging is a little bit more on the simpler side and I prefer a little bit more shipping, but I'm going to declutter. Next, I have the I Think I Love You palette by Colourpop, also one I'm going to declutter. with this one too. I think I used it a handful of times, but it was never one that I was fully obsessed with. I'm gonna say goodbye. The Element of Surprise palette was one of their first few palettes they released in regard to the 12 pan palettes. Really cute at the time. I got a decent amount of use out of this one, but I'm just not that into it anymore, so I'm gonna declutter. This one right here is pretty hot. This is the Sweet Talk palette. So beautiful. I love this for like going into the spring months especially. Cannot wait to pull this out again very, very soon. Yum! Keeping for sure. Then we have the Good Sport palette. I'll have to tell you, I don't even remember purchasing this. I know that I did, but I can't remember when or why really. It's not one that I love, and I think I maybe used it once. I'm gonna declutter. Then we have the My Little Pony palette here. I did keep this for a decent amount of time just because at some point I felt like I needed every single palette, but this was also when Colourpop wasn't releasing items every other week, so I was able to kind of do that. But now I feel like half the time I have no idea what I have, what I don't have, because there's just so much. So I'm gonna declutter. I'm gonna say goodbye. I mean, the collector in me would love to have this, but I mean, My Little Pony is cute, but it wasn't like something that I was fully obsessed with, so I'm gonna declutter. And I have this, I guess, empty palette here that I filled up with single shadows. I don't even know where these single shadows are from. I know the first top 4 are from the Colourpop birthday collection or something. I don't even know where the bottom ones are from. Like, I have no idea. Maybe Makeup Geek. One second, let me check. Honestly, I'm not sure. I think I might have received 4 of these in Ipsy, but I for sure know that 4 of these are Colourpop and some of these are also. But I'm gonna say goodbye. It's not one that I reach for, and really, I'm not the kind of person who likes to depot shadows. I love packaging. I love keeping everything the way it is. So I'm gonna say goodbye. Then I have the You Had Me at Hello palette here. I try to take off the sticker because apparently at some point, I think it's supposed to be a Kathleen collaboration, but then they just put a sticker and named it You Had Me at Hello, so it wasn't her collaboration. I thought that was quite interesting. Here's what the palette looks like. It's cute. I'm not in love. I'm gonna declutter. Next, I have the Cute AF palette. This right here was the first OG Colourpop 12 pan palette. This, I'm telling you, was everything at some point. It also, I think, came out during that time when the Natasha Denona Sunset or Sunrise palette came out too. Like, this color story was everything. Now I feel like it's not so much. I was never crazy over it, to be honest. I really got it because I wanted to feel like it was part of the vibe, and it was cute at the time here and there, but I don't think I need it. I'm gonna declutter. I then have this beautiful palette here. This was in collaboration with Zoella. This is the Brunch Date palette. This was really, really cute. I enjoyed it for a decent amount of time. I like that she included this cobalt blue, not like the typical blues that we see. But overall, it is more of like a neutral palette. I think it's adorable, but I personally don't want to keep it in my collection at this point, so I'm gonna declutter. I'm trying to get rid of things that I'm just not using like a lot, and this is one of them, even though it is cute. I pretty much have these few left, and then this one, but I'm putting this to the side because I don't know if I want to keep that or declutter. Next, I have the Smoke Show palette here. This is a newer-ish purchase for me. One second. Yikes. Okay, so I really didn't have much of a chance to play around with this and use it. Loving the color story, really, really pretty. I have a palette similar to this, the Natasha Denona Glam palette, I think it is. But this right here is still very different than that, so I'm going to keep this for now. Then I have the Just My Luck palette. I do really like this. You could create pretty cool looks with this one. I like that it's green, but then there's like a pop of this kind of green and that. It's not just like all the same green. You have different tones. So I'm going to keep this for now in case I want to do a greenish look. I then have the Brown Sugar palette. It was a collab. I really, really enjoyed this one. This color story I love. I feel like it looks beautiful with so many different eye colors. It was limited edition. I think that there are other palettes that they have that are similar to this that are not limited edition. So I'm going to declutter this and see what else they have on their site. But I think this was a really good one. This was one of their best they released, I feel like. Next, we have this palette right here. This was one of their first few 9-pan palettes. This was a good one. I like that it kind of combined like orangey tone and blue tone shades and then browns. You were able to do a lot with this one. I think it was limited edition. I don't use it a lot anymore, so I'm going to declutter. Next, we have the Blue Moon palette here. This is one that I'm going to go ahead and keep. I recently-ish did a look using this. It's on Instagram. Loved how it came out. This is a little bit hard to work with, I'm not going to lie. A lot of the mattes in here are very, very, very dry. But if you give it some time, you can kind of make it work. Not my favorite palette ever, but I don't have a lot of blues, and I would love to just at least have one like dedicated blue palette, so I'm gonna keep this. Then I have the Proceed with Caution palette here. This is one that I really didn't give way too much love to. I loved the color story and I like that there's like a yellow, but overall it's more of like a neutral-ish palette. I think I'm ready to declutter this one. I don't gravitate towards it way too much, so I'm gonna say goodbye. Then I have the Orange You Glad palette here. I really like this one. I've used it a handful of times and I just think it looks really hot on the eyes. It's like orange, but not like unwearable kind of orange. Like you can do a lot. I really like this, so I'm gonna keep. And I like that there's a little bit of like a brownish shade in here because it really amps up the palette. It would have been nicer if they would have included something a drop deeper so you can add more definition, but I like it. So she's gonna stay in my life. And I will go ahead and declutter the Soul palette. So also more of like an orangey tone palette with pops of browns. Since I'm keeping the Orange You Glad, I think I'm gonna declutter this one. So declutter. Okay, and then finally I have the Zodiac palette. So this right here is a tough one for me. I love, you know, horoscopes, all of that. The Zodiac. I love being part of that vibe, but I also don't feel like I need to have this to be part of a vibe. Do you know what I mean? Let me see 1 second here. 1 second. I think I'm gonna declutter it. Oh my. Oh my. I think I did an amazing job. I kept, what? Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not bad at all. Put this here. I'm just gonna grab the other palettes from the other drawer and put it here. So yeah, this is my palette drawer. I think that this is so much more easier on the eyes, and now I can see what I have, use and love and enjoy everything. And if I do end up purchasing anything new from Colourpop, because they're always releasing stuff, then I have room to kind of put it in here and I could see like what I have, you know, it's important. So yeah, I ended up keeping 9, but then putting those other 4 palettes in here. That's 15 in total. In regards to what I'm decluttering from the palettes, we have this pile here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Pretty good. Pretty impressive. Okay, so like I mentioned, I'm going to tackle these lip drawers in one of my lipstick declutter videos, I want to say, because it's a bit much. And I think we did so much today, you know. I'm just going to move this up. Alright, one hand. Alrighty. Alright, so there's that. We have this drawer right here, which I'm loving. Again, easy on the eyes. We got the glitters here. There's Super Shock eyeshadows and then highlighters over here. I'm gonna put this like this so I can see. Okay. We have this drawer right here, which is actually empty. Look at this. And then here is where I have the actual palettes in the biggest drawer down here. So that's pretty much it. I think we did amazing. Love how this looks now, and of course once I declutter the lip product, it's gonna look a bit more easier on the eyes. That's my motto, easy on the eyes. Okay, so that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my Colourpop collection and declutter video. I would definitely love to know your thoughts and comments down below. Keep me posted, keep me in the loop, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.